Hi friends! I wasn't going to do another video down at the dam, but I was walking around just having a look at, my bulrushes and the water level and the turtles and you know, just having a little wander. And this thing jumped on my foot and I was like, oh, what's that? And it was this tiny, tiny, tiny little frog. And honestly, it was the smallest little frog you could ever see. And if you remember, the other day I did a video by this dam and I saw these bubbles and I said that I think they are frog eggs. Well, I think I was right, because those frog eggs have made their way into the bank of this dam, and inside of these little holes are little frogs. And I'm trying not to, disrupt them, but I'm hoping one pops out so I can show you these little tiny, tiny creatures. And one of the biggest things I thought about when I saw all of these little tiny creatures is, hang on, if it wasn't going to rain, they would have held back their babies. There is no way a frog who's very used to and is completely 100% its environment, would it be breeding the way it is if we weren't going to get rain? And it's so interesting that, the weatherman isn't saying anything about the change of season, but all the creatures around us are saying, it's changing, it's changing, look at what I'm doing now. Now, this is where I saw a heap of them, and I said, I'm just a bit worried of standing on one, so I don't want to, but I really want you to see how tiny, oh, there's one, these little creatures are. That's one there. Can you see him? Look at him. And look how well he blends in. Give him a little, oh, there he goes. He is just tiny, teeny tiny. And there's just heaps of them. As I said, you can't see them because they're so camouflaged into this sand, which again, isn't nature just so clever that that's what it does? It makes you, or it creates you exactly like your environment. So much so that you actually look like your environment. And isn't it interesting? Because you think we're sort of the same. Like in summer, we go darker, don't we? And our skin dries out exactly like the land. And then in winter, you eat more. You have extra padding. You're not as active. So you're very much the same. You're a creature of your environment. I think this is something that we need to get back to, though, is our natural environment. Because when you're hanging in your natural environment, like the frog, you become like your natural environment. So the same thing with you. I think the biggest thing too is the beating of your heart. I think when you are in the city or in a place that's highly populated, you've got all that energy of all those other people and all those things and all their worries and all their stuff going on. And so you take that on, and you take it on physically and emotionally and spiritually. So when you do come out and hang out in this, quiet, peaceful, natural environment, you start to breathe better, feel better, think better. And it's wholly and solely because of your energy. You've changed your energy, and you've connected with the part of you that is beating your heart. And that's the part of you that you need to get in contact with, because that's the part that comes up with all these awesome ideas, and it's just a great place to hang out. You feel so much better when you're hanging out with your spirit. And they always come up with really great solutions when you're feeding your spirit, when you're hanging out in a place that makes your spirit feel really great. And do you know the thing that makes my spirit feel really great and really connected is, you know how I planted all these bulrushes? Well, have a guess who has made these bulrushes their little home is those little froggies. So isn't that interesting that something so simple for free, because I got all the bulrushes from around my dam and my brook, and all the rocks are from here. Something free has created a little ecosystem. And as I said, I've done nothing yet compared to what I'm going to do. But I can tell you now, I'm watching every little effect and every little creature and what they're doing, and seeing what we can do. I was talking to this very, very clever lady yesterday who happens to have done a whole heap of videos on all the creatures that I have on my farm. So I really, really wanted to hear what she said. But she said, and it's such a great way to look at anything that you do. She said, I want to make a great habitat around here for the tortoises, so they can live here really happily, really richly, full bellies. And she said, see what their habitat is, and then create that. And then from that awesome habitat that you have given the tortoises, then you will attract other creatures. And I think that is, so my focus, my main point, my main outcome, my main intention, however you want to look at it, my focus is the tortoises. So what can I do to make the tortoises have lots of food, lots of places to breed, because that is very, very important to me. And having twins myself, and spending a lot of time in hospital because I was just so big and had very high blood pressure, because I'm 5 foot nothing, and carrying twins was a big thing for this little body. And having the right people around me telling me the right things was really important. So I think it's really important when you're pregnant or having babies or, you know, any of that breeding, whatever you want to call it, I think you should have everything around you that you need. And this is something, you know, I really want to do with the tortoises. I want to make sure that wherever they go to lay their eggs, there's nice big reeds and grasses that they love, and then it's safe for them to come to the dam and, you know, all of that stuff. So I'll definitely be really watching. And then, you know, from that one focus or one intention of looking after the turtles, then I get things like frogs, fish, marron, you know, birds, possums, kangaroos, wallabies, you know, emus, echidnas. You just don't know. You don't know what you're going to attract and what you're going to do, because, you know, you're working with a great entity. You're working with nature. So you just do a little bit and then it does a lot. We are forecast for rain tomorrow, so these froggies are definitely right. And it will be really interesting to see, you know, what happens in the next couple of weeks with all of this, you know, stuff coming out, all of these animals coming out, all of these things showing us that it's changing. It's changing. And it's so slight, isn't it? Like, that's why I'm doing so many videos and really focusing on it, because when the changes are happening, like, you can't really notice them. But if you look, you know, like when I do some videos in the winter, when you look back, you're going to go, oh, wow, it was so different. And I think that's the same with us, isn't it? When you look back at photographs and videos of yourself, you go, wow, I was just a different person back then. And you are, and that's okay. That's okay. It's fine to be different. You need to be different. Like, I couldn't use the same skills I used to have out here. They would be useless. I mean, honestly, what good would sales and marketing do out here? Who's going to buy my stuff? And everything's relevant. Everything's relevant. Like, you know, that was then, this is now. And now I read permaculture books and books how to make swamps and wetlands and, you know, videos on what turtles eat and tortoises and, you know, Carnaby cockatoos. And that's my life now. And you know what? I am loving it. But it's completely different to how it used to be. And that's fine too. You know, I loved that life when I was living it. That's what you've got to do. You've got to be okay with you now. What are you doing now that you just love? It's so important to do your thing. It really is. And I am so glad that along the way I have listened to my spirit when it has said these crazy things like go down this street, meet up with that person, ring that person, plant that reed, go to that paddock, buy that little electric car. You know, all of these things I have been led to have just ended up being... Sorry, that was my bucket rolling down the hill. But all of these things have just led me to the most amazing world that I am so glad I listened to. And even my little bucket here, you know, so many people do everything plastic. And, you know, I just can't do the plastic thing. I just think, you know, we should just be more aware of everything. And, you know, Keep things for as long as possible. Find another use for them once you finish, but it's up to you to reuse, not to throw it away. Because remember, there is no place as away. No place. It goes somewhere. Where does it go? You know? And to me, I'm very funny about that sort of stuff. To me, I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. Have a beautiful day, looking for all the little things that you can do. And remember, listen to those whispers from the universe that are telling you to go down that street. You know, ring that person. Try that thing. Don't live every day the same and secretly want your life to change. Go out there and change it. Try something different today that you've never done. And go through with it. Don't just do a little bit. Really go through with it. See where it will go. You do not know where it could lead. You could be making a home for another creature. You just don't know. You could be making fun out of a stick. It's up to you how you live life. You can look at life as, oh my gosh, everything's so hard. Or you can look at everything's an adventure. Where can this take me today? What can I do? Who can I help? Who can I change? What fun can I have? Life is awesome. Live each day awesome. Have a beautiful day. Remember, every creature matters, even my little tiny froggies. Bye.